come to my 3D area, just select this column or isolated footing and delete it along. And I can also change my depth of the base here. Okay, so this is how to draw a combined footing. Hello everyone, I always welcome you to the course. My name is Jan Manuel and the name of my channel is Infinity Build Consult. Please subscribe for update videos. Hello guys, welcome to another episode of Infinity Build Consult. We inspire the world to the next generation. So guys, on this episode of our tutorials, we are going to learn everything about foundation, or everything about building foundation. We're going to learn about the definition of a foundation, also the types of foundation, the functions of a foundation, and also aside that, we are going to find how to draw all these kind of foundations in Revit. We are also going to find how to draw all these kinds of foundation in Revit. So we are going to tackle the definitions of a foundation, the types of foundation, the functions of the foundation, and how to draw the types of foundation in Revit. So we first move on to our definition of a foundation. So what is the definition of a foundation? So we have two definitions here. Which one? We are going to read the definition for you to understand the definition of the foundation. So as I read, definition of a foundation is a supporting portion of a structure located below the structure and support only by soil or rock. So the main function or them are being located below the structure and also are supported by the soil and the rock. But the second definition also gives a clarity on foundation. So we said a foundation, or a definition of a foundation, is the body or the ground upon which something is built up or overlaid. We move on to the types of foundation. So we have two categories of foundation. We have the shallow foundation, we have the deep foundation. So under these categories, we have the shallow foundation with types. So under the shallow foundation, we have the individual footing or isolated footing. We also have the combined footing, and we also have the strip foundation. We also have the raft or the mat foundation, and as well. Under the deep foundation, we have the power foundation, we have the drift shaft foundation. So we are going to try and draw all these kind of foundations in our Revit tutorials today, so that you can understand or draw these foundations in Revit. When you watch on my right side, we have and a picture talking about the shallow foundation and also the deep foundation. So I also recommend a construction book for you, Infinity Build Construction Handbook. So when you comment at the section box that I want this book, I promise that when the book is done, you will be the first person to receive it. So we move on to what the functions of a foundation. So as I read, foundation, the functions of any foundation is to safely sustain and transmit to the ground on which it rests the combined dead, the imposed and the wind load in such a manner as not to cause any settlement or other movement which would impair the stability or the cause damage to any part of the structure. So when you see the picture here, you can see these are the combined loads imposed on the wall here, and this is the ground level. So this imposed load has been imposed on the foundation in order not to cause any damage to any part of the building. So the foundation is going to carry all this load, and at the same time the foundation is to be designed in order to support the load coming on it. So we move on to what? Draw and place all these foundation types in Revit. So we are going to find how to draw the types of foundations in Revit. So what are the types of foundation? As we said, we have the individual footing and isolated footing. So I'm going to move on to my Revit. So let's move on to Revit. Okay, so back in our Revit template, this is the learning template we use for our previous tutorials. So I have in here the ground floor and also the first floor here as well. So we are going to provide what a foundation level in order to draw our various foundation. So what I'm going to do is to come to my elevation, the building elevation. So at this area, I'm going to just copy from here, maybe a depth of 900 is cool. Then I can bring my foundation inside here at the plan view. So I'll do OK here. Then I'll come back to my elevations and change to foundation or top of foundation. Okay, then I'll do yes from here. So now we have the top of foundation here. So we are going to draw our types of foundation here. So I'll come to my structure tab and come to what? Columns. So under the columns, I have to set my columns to a height. Then I'll change my own connector level to first floor. Then I'll try and place columns in here like that. Okay, so after placing this column, I can also check from my 3D here. So then I can now draw my isolated footing here. So I'm going to pick the isolated footing here and also search for a rectangular footing. In case you don't have this, you can also load from the family section. Under the metric area, you just have to come to structure foundation and you can load this rectangular foundation or footing into your project. So I'm going to place my column base in here. So after placing the column base in here, so I'll come back to my 3D area again. So this is the top of foundation and this is the column as well. So this is how to draw what? An isolated footing or an individual footing. So we move on towards a combined footing. So a combined footing comes in when you have two columns at a particular area or an interval which is closer. So I'm going to do another column here. So now I have these two columns here, so I have to combine the base. This broader terms combine what? Footing. So I'm going to use this slab here. But first of all, before I can get the actual size, I can just select this one, copy here. Then I know I have this dimension to go for, which is 3250 mm. So I'll come to this slab here, then I'll pick a rectangle here. So after drawing the slab, I'll come to my 3D area. just select this column or isolated footing and delete it along. And I can also change my depth of the base here. Okay, so this is how to draw a combined footing. So we move on to draw our third foundation, which is the strip footing. Normally strip footing are provided for walls or foundation walls. So we are going to try and place in walls in our foundation area, and after that we place in our strip footing. So this is how I'm going to draw my wall. After picking my wall at the structure tab, I'm going to change from here to a height, and I'm going to do my top constraint ground floor. So I'm going to pick at the mid here, like that. Okay, so this is how to provide a foundation wall. Aside that, you can use the visibility graphics in order to change the height, the hatch in which, or the pattern in which you want for your wall. So under the pattern area, I'll come to the wall pattern and change the override graphics towards a masonry wall. So that's the masonry brick, and do apply here. So now I have something like this. So let's try and place in our strip footing. So I'm going to click on this wall here and also decide the type of sizing which I want. If it's okay for me, I'll just have to click on the wall, each wall like this, in order to draw my strip footing. Okay, so this is how to draw a strip footing here for the wall. So our last foundation on the shallow foundation is going to be a raft foundation. So under the raft foundation, this foundation are normally done for basements, also swimming pools and stuff. So in case I have walls here like that, let me pick a rectangular wall like this, and I want to provide a raft or a mat slab. I just have to use this area, pick the rectangle section, and under the offset I can do 500. Then I can come back to my 3D and also change the depth as well. So this is how to provide a raft foundation or a mat foundation in Revit. So we move on to how to draw our power foundation. So in the power foundation, we are going to come to the structure tab and also search for the isolated footing. We can get our power foundation here. In case you don't have the power foundation, you can come to load area, then you come to structure foundation. So we have series, we have power 1, we have power 2, power 3. So we have many here in which you can use. So this is how to insert or bring the types of foundation we have. So guys, I hope this tutorials has been helpful. If you have any comment, kindly keep it at the comment section box. If you are not part of the family, kindly hit on the subscription button and subscribe. If you want us to record any video for you, kindly write it at the comment section box. Thank you for being part of the family. Infinity Build Consult. We inspire the world to the next generation. Thank you. Peace. I'm out.